So this question is going to be a tricky one once again, and it's something that's very easy to actually answer, and it works with a short and precise answer. It would be, why are you leaving your current role? Whether you're employed, whether you've left your current role already, or you've handed your notice in. Now, good things that work for you: if you're being made redundant, or the company's being sold, or your job is getting made redundant, I would definitely mention that, because it puts the employer's mind at ease. It's not your fault why you've left. A lot of times companies or positions get made redundant. So I'd definitely be sure to mention that. And that's an easy cop out. I wouldn't suggest to lie for 1 second. However, if you're leaving a position, you have to be very careful with your answer. You can't mention, you're sick of the management, anything negative, you hate the company, you hate your job, you hate your life. Don't mention anything along those lines. Now, reasons that employers take favorably and they like is not so much salary increase, but a progression in your career. So you could mention your company is quite a small company and there's nowhere to go. The next position is CEO. So everyone's on a sort of entry level role or beginner sort of level, and you want a career where you can actually progress. You don't want to move around in the next 5 years, tell them. You want a position, you're being very selective, and you want a position that you're actually going to stay in and last. Now, if you've had a lot of sort of jumpiness in your CV, you might have to explain why you've moved on a position from 3 to 4 or 4 months. So you was in the last position for 3 months. If it was a while back, you can mention it was a temporary position, which some employers may not delve into if it was 3, 4 employees back, or positions back. But they're going to look at the most recent 2 or 3, possibly 4. If you've got 16 jobs in the last year, then obviously it's going to be very difficult for you to sort of explain, unless it's a lot of contract or temporary work. So with the answer, again, going back to the question, why are you leaving your last position, you have to be honest. You have to sort of establish why you want to work for them. Not so much the position why you're leaving. Switch the question up. Move it to, in my current role, I don't seem there's anything to progress into. I am enjoying it. However, if there's another opportunity that I can use my skill set and still grow with the company, I would definitely take that opportunity. And this position fills that for this reason, because the company's growing, because it's a long established company, and there's various different avenues I can go down in my career path. In 2 to 5 years time, I don't actually find a sort of progressive role in the company I'm in now. You could also mention some other things that employers like to hear. Is mention if you're traveling very far. You could say, look, I've tried it. I'm traveling an hour and a half to work, or an hour to work. Your company actually is 20 minutes down the road from me and there's less traffic. So in the morning, I can actually come in earlier. I can actually dedicate more time at work rather than having to rush out the door, just to get home at 7, 8 o'clock at night. So definitely mention those things. Employers will say, okay, that's a good enough reason. If you're relocating as well, that's another reason you can mention. But employers like to hear that, it's not just salary that motivates you, because if you mention that, oh, this position's paying £2,000 higher, then chances are they're going to think, oh, in 6 months' time, if he or she finds another job in 6 months' time, she's probably going to move to that as well. So definitely mention, points around what actually why are you actually applying for this job? And, go through everything with them.